All right, let's jump right in. What if I told you the map you think you know for global shipping is about to be completely redrawn? We're talking about a massive historic agreement that's literally creating a new economic superhighway between two of the world's biggest players. For decades, goods have moved around the world along these really predictable paths. But those routes, they're being fundamentally recalibrated. And this isn't just some minor tweak. We are talking about a seismic shift in how global commerce actually flows. So what on earth could cause a change this big? Well, it all boils down to one thing: a landmark free trade agreement between India and the European Union. Now, let's talk about this new trade superhighway. Seriously, this is a deal that's been nearly 2 decades in the making. It's all about paving a brand new, high-speed path for trade between India and the EU. And the sheer scale here is just mind-boggling. This isn't your average trade pact. We're talking about a deal between two absolute giants who together account for about a quarter of the entire world's economy. Think about that for a second. And get this number, 2 billion. That's how many people are in the combined market this deal opens up. This agreement is going to directly impact the economies, the businesses, and, the actual consumers for a huge slice of the global population. Okay, but how does a deal signed on paper actually change anything on the high seas? Well, as it so often does, you gotta follow the money. And here is the big incentive: an estimated $4.75 billion in savings every single year. And that's just on European goods heading to India. I mean, when you make it billions of dollars cheaper to trade, you can bet a whole lot more cargo is going to start moving. The real engine behind all this is the near total elimination of tariffs. We're talking over 99% of Indian exports to Europe becoming tariff-free and 97% of EU exports to India. It's like unlocking a door that's been closed for years. This is what opens the floodgates. And we're not just talking about t-shirts and spices here. This deal blows things wide open for major industries. You've got your standard container cargo, of course, but also huge industrial equipment. That's the breakbulk machinery, stuff that's way too big for a normal container, plus cars, automotive parts, and all kinds of engineering goods. But this deal isn't just about the economics. It's a huge strategic realignment. It signals a very conscious decision to redraw the global supply chain map and shift the focus in a big way. This quote really gets right to the heart of it. There's a clear geopolitical strategy at play. European leaders have been very open about wanting to diversify their supply chains, and this agreement firmly positions India as that go-to, reliable alternative. And here you can see that strategic shift laid out plain as day. The old model, where everyone was heavily reliant on just one manufacturing center, is on its way out. The new model, it champions India as a resilient, powerful alternative hub. This spreads the risk and just creates a much more stable global trade network for everybody. And really, that's what this is all about at the end of the day. By forging this incredibly powerful new trade corridor with India, the big goal is to build a global supply chain that's just more robust, more diversified, and a heck of a lot less vulnerable to all the disruptions we've seen lately. So anytime you see a massive shift like this, there are always going to be some clear winners and some folks who might get left behind if they don't adopt quickly. Let's break down who stands to gain the most and who really needs to pay attention. First up, these specific ports are about to become the major gateways on this new superhighway. In India, you're looking at places on the west coast, like Jawaharlal Nehru Port and Mundra. They are just perfectly positioned for a huge surge in cargo. And over in Europe, hubs like Rotterdam and Antwerp are getting ready to receive it all. And the stakes couldn't be clearer. The winners? They're going to be the ones who are flexible. The shipping carriers that can move their fleets around, the efficient ports that are ready for all this new volume, and the freight forwarders. Those are the logistics pros who make these new supply chains actually work. And the losers? Well, that'll be anyone who's too slow to adapt or maybe a little too invested in the old map. Now, look, a massive change like this isn't going to happen with the flip of a switch. The agreement still needs to be fully ratified, and those tariff cuts will happen in phases. But the direction of travel is locked in. The experts are expecting we'll see the full supply chain realignment really take shape toward the end of the 2020s. So let's pull all of these threads together. How does all of this create a totally new reality for the world of shipping? The bottom line is this: we are literally watching the birth of a dominant new shipping corridor. The route between India and Europe isn't just getting busier. It is on a trajectory to become one of the most important defining trade lanes of the entire next decade. It has the potential to rival those long-established routes across the Pacific. And that leaves us with one final big question. A new map is being drawn right in front of us, and that creates both immense opportunity and serious disruption. As these tides of global trade continue to shift, the real question is, who's going to have the vision and the agility to navigate it best?